and Igede Women's Congress has called this press conference to alert the federal government under the leadership of His Excellency President Bola Tinubu, GCFR, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Honorable Minister of Defense, National Security Advisor, the Chief of Defense Staff, Chief of Army Staff, Chief of Naval Staff, Chief of Air Staff, the Inspector General of Police, the United Nations, the European Union, United States of America, the Great Britain, the United Nations Humanitarian Commission, the National Human Rights Commission, NEMA, Catholic Bishop Council of Nigeria, and all other relevant stakeholders in the protection of lives or properties to quickly swing into action to stop the resumed killings of the people of Ukpute and other contiguous communities in Oju local government area by Bonta militia of Konshisha local government area, Benue State, since 5th July 2024. Other than the initial gesture of providing security, His Excellency, the Governor of Benue State, Reverend Father Hyacinth Ali, appears ominously indifferent or incredibly helpless. The concerned authorities mentioned above may recall that this crisis was the reason for the gruesome murder of 12 soldiers and officers of the Nigerian Army by Bonta militia in April 2021, while on a peacekeeping mission to the crisis area. Shortly after the burial of the slain soldiers, Bonta people resumed hostilities and the continuous killings, maiming, looting, raping and destructions of lives and property of the people of Ukpute and other neighbouring Igede communities, boasting that they will kill more soldiers if sent to interfere in their mission of killing and mass displacement of not just the Ukpute people, but also the rest of their kids and kin in Oju and of the federal constituency. This was the situation until the former governor, Dr. Samuel Utom, frightened by the prospect of a declaration of state of emergency following mass protests in Benue and FCT and a rebuke from clear conscience leaders like Senator Joe, belatedly paid a visit to the scene of the conflict, an action that nonetheless brought a temporary respite. It is with hearts full of sorrow and other despair that barely 2 years after raising many communities in the local government to the ground and displacing thousands who are not captured in Benue State IDP demographics, that are back to the reign of the immediate past 2020, 21st, and 22, with no respect of abatement accordingly. We are here today as a people's lawyers, media professionals, community leaders, and concerned men and women of Oju federal constituency in Benue State to cry to the world and relevant authorities and agencies through this press conference in the hope that this bloodletting, destruction, and mass displacement will be brought to an end. We are part of the human family and specifically of Benue State origin. We have made our contribution to the development of the state and the nation as a whole on a commendable scale, acutely aware of our disadvantages, population and resources. We are decidedly cautious and peaceful people But this has not guaranteed peace for us as we have faced the worst case of extermination, disposition, displacement, and intimidation executed through scorched earth tactics with arms and ammunition, as well as militias obviously funded with resources beyond the capacity of Bonta community and sponsored by some shadow forces who are hell-bent on taking from us our land, the source of livelihood. We would want the world to take this press conference as the final act of resistance before withdrawing in our own blood through the sword of Bonta militias and their sponsors. Accordingly, we call on Mr. President, the United Nations, and the other aforementioned entities to urgently prevail on the government of Benue State under the leadership of the governor, a Catholic priest, Reverend Father Alia, to do something before it is too late. The current Bonta-led expansionist adventure started about 27 years ago, precisely in September 1997, when during the military administration of now late Lieutenant Colonel Aminu Isa Kuntebewe in Benue State, one retired military officer by name Mbanogo led a strong militia group in a month-long invasion of Ukpute and other neighbouring Igede communities to drive the people of Ukpute and other neighbouring communities out of their ancestral homes. The assault was followed by sustained guerrilla attacks, progressive, systematic annexation and seizure of their lands up to 2020, when without any prior provocation, the same Mbanogo led yet another wave of fierce attack that lasted for 30 months. That is June 20th, 2020 to 20th July 2021, while the then governor, Dr. Samuel Otom, watched with apparent indifference and helplessness. The current onslaught started on 5th July 2024, again without prior provocation, but obviously as a deliberate strategy for preventing the reopening / establishing of the boundary as identified by GPS technology. The attack came on the heels of several months of engagement with the stakeholders led by Dr. Samode, the state deputy governor, in collaboration with the humanitarian dialogue and international humanitarian organization to resolve the persistent conflict. The engagement, which, based on Governor Alia's directive, culminated on a visit on 22nd June and 2nd July 2024 to the disputed area on fact-finding mission preparatory to the peaceful boundary re-establishment. However, on Friday, 5th July 2024, the Bonta militias, who unknown to Ukpute people, had encamped around the outskirts of the enemy community, attacked one of them very early in the morning on his way to Bogo through Bonta, but he narrowly escaped death. The Ukpute community, as usual, reported the incident to the reported the incident to the DPO in Oju, who called his counterpart of Konshisha and agreed to meet at the disputed area to douse the tension. In keeping with this arrangement, the DPO would quickly rush down to Ukpute and place phone calls on DPO Konshisha, but could not reach him as he switched off his phone, while the DPO Oju was still trying to find a way to reach his counterpart. The Bonta fighters swooped on Ukpute, firing gunshots Sporadically, while chanting one song in Tiv language, the attack lasted to the evening of that day. The following day, September 6th, July 2024, the militia came back attacking Ukpute very early in the morning and engaged them till evening. Once again, and as a result of the outcry, a handful of security operatives dashed in on Sunday, 7th July, but surprisingly left the following day. Monday, 8th July 2024, on Wednesday, 10th July 2024, knowing there was no security presence, the Bonta men struck again at the neighbouring community of the Kingo and killed one Mr. Oju in his farm and cut off and took away with them his limbs. On Saturday, 13 July 2024, the crisis took a new dimension when Bonta people invaded a neutral Igede-speaking community called Oju in Konshisha local government and burned down some houses. Again on Friday, 19 July 2024, the Bonta militia went back to Oju, that's a community, and razed down the entire community. That community existed for centuries predating colonial times. However, the arbitrary boundary exercises of 1928 ceded it to then Tiv division, today better known as Konshisha local government. It has been part of the crisis area, and the only known reason for the attack on the community is they are Igede people. The same manner of attack was launched on Oju in 1997 and in 2021, when the community chief Dennis Okpei was abducted and gruesomely murdered while he was taking his bath. Several others were killed and some still missing to date. The Bonta militia has compounded the situation by deploying a new strategy of ambushing and hunting down innocent Igede people and killing them on their farm or their road almost on a daily basis. All incidents are usually promptly reported to the state authorities and security agencies, but nothing has been done to stop the killings. We want the whole world to know that the Ukpute is of Igede minority ethnic group in Oju local government area, while they are Bonta tormentors. Our Konshisha local government, they are in Konshisha local government and are Tiv, the majority ethnic group in Benue State. The attack on Oju community in Konshisha local government without provocation has confirmed our worst fear that the crisis may be bigger than we had thought and a product of an ethnic conspiracy and unrepentant resolve to drive Igede people out of Benue State. Our suspicions are further heightened by the apparent indifference or helplessness of the governor, His Excellency, the Reverend Father Dr. Dalia. We do not want to believe that the instrument of violence in the hands of a small community like Bonta are superior to the combined security apparatus of both the Benue State and the federal government. Certainly, Bonta people are too poor to sustain the level of violence they have been unleashing for the time it has lasted. Since the unprovoked crisis resumed on 5th July 2024, and in spite of assurances, the governor is yet to make any concrete arrangement to deploy security agents to stop the needless killings for the past 4 months. On the other hand, when crisis erupted in Ayasi community in Ukpute local government area, On or about 30th June 2024, the governor immediately sent his deputy, Dr. Simon MNI, to the place as well as deployed security agents the following day to quell the crisis, imposing a 24-hour curfew on the entire Ukpute local government area from 1st July 2024 to further notice. In the case of Ukpute, about 1 week after the crisis started and while the governor remained ominously silent, the commissioner of police in the state, Mr. Steve Yabane, invited Ukpute and other stakeholders from the local government for what he called a peace meeting in the enemy country, the territory, Konshisha local government headquarters, without any prior intervention or deployment of security personnel in the crisis area, but guided by credible intelligence that Oju people would all be killed if they turn down the invitation, insisting the meeting be held at a safe, neutral ground. The meeting was consequently rescheduled for 18th July 2024 in Makurdi, the Benue state capital. During several peace meetings held in Makurdi, the Benue state capital, at the instance of humanitarian dialogue, the leaders of Bonta militia openly threatened the Ukpute people and score for peace initiatives. Yet the governor has not been seen to have taken any concrete measure to stop them. They publicly opposed the re-establishment of the boundary repeatedly because it is obvious that history, truth, and justice do not favor them. Thus resulting to taking lands that fall within the local government area by force of arms, aided by their sponsors, is the preferred option and reason why the conflict persists. As I said earlier, the governor initially showed honest commitment to his plan to re-establish the boundary, but by his apparent indifference, he now appears to have yielded to the pressure from some quarters to do nothing until Igede people are vanquished. There were similar attacks on the Makurdi community and other communities on 6th May, Bonta Community on 8th May by chief militia from Konshisha local government area, killing, maiming, and destroying properties, but no single person has been arrested to date. On September 9, 2024, during the media chat in Abuja, Governor Andyson Iji, in a rare public comment on the Bonta-Ukpute crisis, disclosed that his government was planning to take over the disputed land in the name of creating the buffer zone. This means that the governor has resolved to do through his office what his people could not do through the barrier of God. In our considered view, the state government has undoubtedly taken side with the Bonta people, even after the same government had applied modern technology to identify the boundary and found out that the land in dispute falls under the local government. We believe that if the affected land were to fall on the side of Konshisha, the governor would not have contemplated a takeover, but would have outrightly used his power to enforce justice. At this juncture, it is necessary to make certain clarifications. We are not blind to the goodwill, love, and brotherly disposition of some prominent personality of thief extraction. While time and space may not permit us to make a comprehensive list of such personalities, it is necessary to mention the period of peace and brotherhood in Benue State under the former governors, The present Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Distinguished Senator George Akume, governed the state from 1999 to 2007, and there was peace, tranquility throughout his reign. Also, the former senator representing Zone A Senatorial District, Distinguished Senator Gabriel Soswan, governed the state from 2007 to 2015 and demonstrated capacity to unite varying ethnic interests in the state. And there was peace during their reign. Why was and is it so bad under the watch of Dr. Samuel Utom and now Reverend Father Hassan Aliyah? Ukpute people, and by extension the people of the local government, are peace-loving and do not deserve to be treated like slaves in their fatherland. It is high time, Mr. President, all security agencies in Nigeria, the international community, national and international humanitarian organizations rose to the rescue of Igede people. We further pray that the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Tinubu, CFR, should please direct the urgent deployment of troops to dispute the boundary between Bonta and Ukpute as a short-term measure to save our lives. Direct the establishment of a forward operating base, FOB, post at the boundary between the two communities or local government to stop this massacre, as well as forestall reoccurrence of the unprovoked killings of our people. Prevail on Governor Andyson Iji to deploy all internal security measures and ensure immediate reopening of the Oju Oju, some call it Oju Road, which has been closed by the Bonta people since July 2024. It is the only possible access road of the people of Oju Federal Constituency, neighbouring Cross River and Ebonyi communities to Benue State Capital. We ask that the President comes to the rescue of internally displaced persons camping in different locations within Igede land by providing shelter, food, healthcare, and other social economic relief for them as obtained in other IDP camps in Benue State. The world should not wait for another Rwandan-type genocide in Benue State. Thank you very much. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The former governor, distinguished Senator George Akume, who is the Secretary to the Government of the Federation now, during his tenure, if there is any crisis, he promptly deployed security personnel to the affected areas. In fact, not that there were no crises at all in Benue State, but what the governor Akume did, he promptly deployed security personnel and set up a committee to address the crisis, not only in between Ukpute and Bonta, but even in other parts of the state. So it is still the same policies that or tactics that distinguished Senator Suswan applied. Once there is any crisis, he quickly set up committee. In fact, they will even wait for a day. Once the crisis starts in the morning, before evening, they will deploy security personnel. But right from the former governor Samuel Utom and the present incumbent governor, Dr. Hyacinth Alia. Once there's any crisis, they remain ominously silent, as if nothing is going on. And the present governor recently granted an interview in Abuja, and surprisingly to us, he even said that the crisis was just a skirmish. And to our surprise, even as that particular time he was addressing the press in Abuja, killings was going on in the affected areas. So these are some of the things. Awaji Road, Oju Awaji Road, since in 2020 to 2021, for over 15 months, nobody could access that road. And currently, since 5th July 2024, that this crisis erupted, the road is completely blocked. Nobody dare pass that road. The Bonta militia, they have blocked the road, and that is the only access road to the state capital.
I am surprised because when he came to campaign, we stand by him and we believe that as a reverend father, he's going to be take us like a father, like his children. To my surprise, since this crisis started, he could not be able to send any security personnel to the affected area. 1, 2, with all these security meetings that we have been sending letters and all complaints to him, he has never responded once. Secondly, the last incident that happened took my brother and his wife. They went to farm just to harvest what they planted, and those militias, those Bonta militias, attacked them and gunned them down. Not only that, there was a widow who is an Igede woman. She's not from the affected area. She's not from Ukpute neither, she's from Oju. She was just passing by and they gunned her down at the same time. Meaning that the incident has taken another dimension. We are crying to the whole world, to the international community, to come to our aid, to deploy security agencies to the affected area. 1, 2, that the National Boundary Commission should come to settle the boundary issue between these two communities, because it is taking another dimension. We don't like what the governor is doing. He's not showing any interest. We don't know whether he's partial on this matter, but he's sentimental. We can say he's sentimental on the matter, and we don't want him to continue in that way.
As I'm talking today, I'm talking with pain because I'm speaking about my father's land, which is Ukpute. Ukpute is the only land that I know. That is where I was born and brought up. But today, I want to let the world know that they want to take it away from us. Where are we going to live? Where are we going to survive? I want to say the word today. The first experience on 5th of July was a very painful experience to me. He's my direct cousin, my first cousin. His name is Bonta. He was gruesomely murdered, and his hand was amputated and taken away by the militia of Bonta. You know my thing? After we paid the cost, we reported, and the government requested that we must submit the picture of a young man. That where is the evidence to show that he was actually killed? We have to turn out the dead body from the grave and send the pictures, and nothing is done. It's painful because in my place, once you are buried. But for the cost of this, we go extra mile to do this. But today, nothing is happening. Am I going to talk about Philip Awood that will wake up in the morning, moving in the city of Ukpute, because we call him the Ukpute city. That's the only city that I have. He was gruesomely murdered in the morning, and nothing happened. 2 years ago, my brother, John Ubige, and the wife went to the farm just to pick up the food. I can tell you today, they were gruesomely murdered. Both the wife and the man himself. Today, the children are rendering complete orphan.
I want to tell the world, if this type of event is described as skirmishes, then I don't know what is the problem. I want to tell the world, this situation Ukpute cannot handle by grammar. It can only handle by the willingness of a leader. Not an eye service called himself a priest, but the willingness of a leader. So I want to call on my president, Bola Tinubu, to come to the aid of Ukpute. And I want to cry to the international community that we are dying on a daily basis. God help us. It's painful.